I want to start first by really congratulating the graduates here today for all of your hard work. I got the easy degree today. I didn't really have to do a whole lot to get here in terms of writing papers and so on. And I know that you put a lot of effort and energy into it today, so congratulations to you all and to your families. I am truly honored and humbled to receive this prestigious honor from Cardinal Stritch University. I really can't think of another university that, in fact, I would rather get an honorary doctorate from other than Cardinal Stritch. You see, Cardinal Stritch embodies the same values that I cherish as a person. The Franciscan values of creating a caring community, showing compassion, reverencing all of creation, and making peace are very similar to my own personal life values. You know, that's actually kind of funny when you think about it, because I grew up in an Orthodox Jewish home. In our Orthodox Jewish home, I didn't even know who St. Francis was. We learned values from Abraham, Isaac, and Moses. In our house, we were taught certain values. We were taught about giving charity through the Jewish tradition of tzedakah. We were taught about the importance of helping others through volunteering and getting involved. But the most important value of my childhood was the importance of developing relationships with people who are different from yourselves. You see, in my white, Jewish, wealthy childhood home, we had many, many friends who were not like us. We got to meet and know people from different countries, people from different cultural backgrounds, people with different levels of education, people of different ages, and people from different wealth levels. We got to know people who were seemingly very different from us, but in a way, we learned were the same as us. In my early 20s, something revolutionary to my life happened. I ended up in a 12-step recovery program for a drug addiction. Now, I know that perhaps some of you here today have been in those 12-step recovery rooms, and you know how amazing those rooms really are. Each meeting is a place where emotional and spiritual growth is cherished. The great thing about 12-step recovery rooms is that there's only one qualification required to get into the room, and that is a desire to recover from addiction. That's it. You don't need to have a certain level of education, a certain level of wealth, or a certain skin color. All you need is to have a desire to recover from addiction. What that does is puts everybody on the same level. We are all in the 12-step rooms. No one is better than anyone else. No one is smarter. No one has more to offer. Everyone is a simple human being trying to get better. The biggest lesson that I've learned out of those many years of going to recovery meetings is that everybody is a smart person. Everyone adds value. I have learned over the years that I can grasp knowledge from literally anybody in the room. All the typical categories of life do not matter. It doesn't matter whether somebody has a PhD or never even finished high school. It doesn't matter if someone has an empty wallet or is a millionaire. It doesn't matter if someone is a felon or a judge. It doesn't matter if a person lives in a penthouse or under a bridge. I have learned over the years that everybody is smart and everybody has something to teach me. It all comes down to mindset. I have to look at each person as a person of value and not as an object or a category. When I turned 30, I had the great honor of being asked to establish the Bader Foundation by my elders. It was a tremendous show of confidence in me by a very accomplished set of older, wiser people. In the early years of creating the foundation, I would meet for hours and hours with lawyers and investors talking about money, discussing and strategizing about hundreds of millions of dollars. There was one day in the summer of 1992 when I spent all day in a room talking about money. And I've got to tell you, after about 5 hours of sitting in a room talking about money, that money entered into my body. And it started in my toes, came up through my body, and before I knew it, it was in my head. At the end of that day, I walked out of that room thinking that I was hot stuff. I was smart, I was talented, and perhaps a little better than many other people because my knowledge and understanding of how to manage and invest hundreds of millions of dollars. I left that room and went, as I normally did, to a 12-step meeting. I happened to sit across a lady that I recognized. On that day, when I was feeling so proud of myself, I asked my friend a simple question. How was your day? Her answer simply changed my life. Her answer was, my day is not good. I am not doing well. I just got out of a psychiatric ward after another suicide attempt. At that moment, my mindset changed. I went from being hot stuff to being just another human being. I started paying attention to her, not to me. I noticed that she was shaking. I noticed that she was unstable. So me and my friend sat over a cup of coffee and talked about the importance of being alive, the importance of life. We sat at that table and listened, and I listened to her for quite a while. I don't think that she really learned much from me that day, but I sure learned a whole lot from her. I learned no matter how much we think we have in life, no matter how important we think we are, all of us just have today. I want to pause for a moment and bring into this discussion a quote from my favorite philosopher, Mother Teresa. Now, please don't tell my rabbi, but I read a quote from Mother Teresa every morning. Mother Teresa says, "Let us be very sincere in our dealings with each other and have the courage to accept each other as we are. Don't be surprised or preoccupied at each other's failures. Rather, see and find in each other the good." The good. I love that quote from Mother Teresa because she reminds us that there is good in everyone. We just need to look for it. A number of years ago, I decided to write a mission statement for myself. And after many weeks of contemplation, I came up with a very simple mission statement of, my purpose in life is to help others. It's a simple statement, but actually, it turns out that it's kind of a hard thing to do. What this means is that I need to be conscious of my intentions and actions on a daily basis. It means that I really need to think about how I treat others every moment of every day. It's really about mindset. In order to help others, I have to look at other people as having tremendous value. I have to listen to people. I have to learn from people, and I have to build relationships with people. People cannot be objects or obstacles. When I see people as people, then I can try to help others. Building relationships is what we do at Bader Philanthropies. When we decided to build our new headquarters in the heart of the city, in the Robbie neighborhood on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, we knew that the headquarters would only be a success if we built relationships with our neighbors. You see, in our society, it's easy to hide behind societal structures, barriers, if you wish. It's easy to avoid people who are different from ourselves. We can live in neighborhoods where everybody is like us. We can shop at stores where everybody is like us. But when we do that, we miss the great opportunity to get to know people who are different from us. I've had the great pleasure over the past 2 years to get to know people who are homeless. It's fair to say that my friends and family thought I was a little crazy. I got to know people who literally had nothing. And not only did I get to know them by name, they became my friends. It was a risky idea, I suppose, and a few interesting things happened along the way. But what really happened was I learned a lot. I learned that once again, no matter how downtrodden a person may look, that person can teach me something. That no matter how little a person has, that person can give me something. More importantly, I learned that people just want to be understood, respected, and loved. At Bader Philanthropies, we try to look past the societal structures that are often in place. We try to fund organizations that other funders look past or dismiss. We try to fund in locations that others don't often fund. Many of these organizations that we fund are small and have limited staff. They may not be skilled at explaining their vision or mission, or even at raising money, but at the center of each of these organizations are people with a passion and commitment to helping others. Now, I don't know how many of you in this room have had a chance to visit Jerusalem. And if you haven't been there yet, you should definitely go. Put it on your bucket list. Jerusalem is definitely a magical place. It is one of the oldest cities in the world and is considered holy to 3 major Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. People of the different faiths live together, work together, and commute together. But Jerusalem is not always a peaceful place. People often focus more on their differences versus their It's a very complex funding environment. Many funders have either decided to take sides, that being just supporting the Jews or just supporting the Arabs, or perhaps just staying away. At Beta Philanthropies, however, we have seen opportunities to bring people together through funding. One of our partner organizations in Jerusalem is Playing for Peace. This is an organization that uses sports and recreation as a hook for building constructive cross-cultural interactions in regions that have seen conflict. In Jerusalem, Playing for Peace brings together basketball players from all parts of the city. The Peace Players All-Stars includes mixed teams of Arabs and Jews in youth basketball leagues. This is a great example where we can bring people together from different cultures to get to know each other, to grow together, and in this case, to have fun and stay active. It is so very important for all of us to develop relationships across the typical boundaries of race, religion, and economic status. Each one of us has so much to offer each other, but we can only learn from each other if we know each other. I want to leave you today with the thought of action. It's certainly important to plan and strategize, but at the end of the day, it's important for each of us to take action. Not all of our actions need to be big and bold. Small, seemingly innocent actions are just as powerful as big strategic plans. The point is that we all have to get up and do something. We have to do things that help each other. We have to get to know each other better. Let me close with my final quote from Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa says, "Give love an action. Our works of love are nothing but works of peace. Let us do them with greater love and efficiency, each in his own work, in daily life, at home, and with one neighbors. Be happy and be at peace." Thank you.